What if I told you that one of the most powerful tools for managing your blood sugar isn't in a pill bottle, but in something as simple as when and how you drink water? I know that sounds too simple. You're probably thinking, I've been drinking water my whole life. How could that possibly help my diabetes? Or maybe you're skeptical because you've tried so many things that promise to help but didn't deliver. Stay with me because what I'm about to share has made a real difference for hundreds of my patients. These are people doing everything right, taking medications faithfully, never missing a dose, following meal plans carefully, measuring every portion, checking their blood sugar multiple times a day, walking every morning, and still their numbers were unpredictable. Still they felt exhausted. Still they worried every time they got their A1C results. The frustration I see in my office is real and heartbreaking. People in their 60s and 70s who've been fighting this battle for years, sometimes decades. They've spent money on special diabetic foods. They've given up foods they love. They've done everything their doctors asked, and they're tired of the constant vigilance, tired of feeling like they're failing even when they're trying harder than anyone else they know. I am Dr. Jonathan Clark, and in my years of practice, I've learned that sometimes the most powerful interventions aren't the most complicated ones. Sometimes it's the basics we've completely overlooked that make the biggest difference. Recent studies from major medical universities have shown something remarkable. Drinking water at specific times can improve your insulin sensitivity by up to 40%. That means your body becomes better at using the insulin it has, whether that's your own natural insulin or insulin for medication. The key isn't just how much water you drink, it's when you drink it and how you drink it. Small changes in timing can create significant improvements in blood sugar control. This isn't about replacing your medication or ignoring your doctor's advice. It's about giving your body the support it needs to work more efficiently. Write your country in the comments. And if you're new here, subscribe and turn on notifications. Let's talk about why this matters, especially after 60, why your blood sugar changes after 60. Let me start by explaining what's happening in your body as you age, because understanding this makes everything else make sense. After 60, several things change that make blood sugar control more challenging. Your cells become more resistant to insulin, meaning they don't respond as quickly when insulin tries to deliver glucose. Your pancreas doesn't produce insulin as efficiently as it used to, so you're working with less of this crucial hormone. Your kidneys don't filter glucose as well, which means excess sugar stays in your bloodstream longer. And here's the part most people don't know. The part that surprised me when I first learned about it in medical school. Your brain's thirst mechanism becomes less sensitive with age. That last point is absolutely crucial. You can be significantly dehydrated, dangerously dehydrated, even without feeling thirsty at all. Your mouth might not feel dry. You might not feel any discomfort, but inside your body at the cellular level, things are going wrong. And even mild dehydration, just 2% below optimal hydration, which is barely noticeable to you, can raise your blood sugar by 10 to 15%. That's enough to take you from good control to poor control. That's enough to explain those frustrating morning spikes or unexpected afternoon highs that seem to come from nowhere. Let me tell you about David. He was 68 and I could see the frustration on his face before he even sat down. Dr. Clark, he said, his voice tight, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. I'm eating carefully, measuring everything. I take my metformin exactly as prescribed. I walk 3 miles every morning. I've cut out sugar and white bread. I've done everything. He pulled out a notebook full of blood sugar readings. Look, some mornings it's 140, others it's 180. Yesterday, 165, today 175. Same breakfast every day, same oatmeal, same portion. But the numbers are all over the place. His wife added quietly, he tries so hard, but his A1C keeps creeping up from 7.2 to 7.8. We went through his routine. Diet excellent. Medication timing perfect. Exercise consistent. Everything looked right on paper. Then I asked what seemed simple. David, walk me through your morning from when you wake up to breakfast. I get up around 6:30, check my blood sugar, make coffee, drink coffee while reading news. Then around 7:30, I make oatmeal and take my medication. When do you drink water? He paused, confused. When I'm thirsty, I guess sometimes with my medication. Is that wrong? There it was. David went from 6:30 a.m. until 7:30 or later before drinking any water. 8 hours sleeping, then another hour awake without hydrating. 9 hours total of dehydration. We made simple changes. Every morning before coffee, he drank warm water with sea salt and lemon. Before meals, water 15 minutes prior. He carried a bottle and sipped throughout the day. 2 weeks later, he called. His voice was lighter. My morning readings have been 125 to 135 for the past week every day. That hasn't happened in 2 years. A month later, his average dropped by 20 points. No medication changes, just water timed correctly. I thought you were crazy, he admitted with a smile. Water seemed too simple, but I can't argue with my glucose meter. The numbers don't lie. The 3 mistakes everyone makes. Before I tell you the method that's helped my patients, let me explain the 3 most common mistakes I see. You're probably making at least one of these right now. Mistake number 1 is waiting until you're thirsty to drink. Thirst isn't an early warning system. It's an alarm that goes off when you're already dehydrated. By the time your mouth feels dry, your blood has already thickened, your glucose is already elevated, and your insulin is already struggling to work efficiently. Think of it this way. Your blood is like a river carrying glucose to your cells. When the river is full, glucose flows smoothly where it needs to. Go. When the river runs low, it becomes thick and sluggish, glucose gets stuck, it accumulates instead of being delivered. Mistake number 2 is drinking large amounts all at once. Some people go hours without water, then drink a huge glass trying to catch up. But your body can only absorb about 200 to 250 milliliters every 15 minutes. That's about 1 cup. Anything beyond that just passes through to your bladder without hydrating your cells. It's like watering a plant. If you dump a whole bucket on it at once, the water runs off and the roots stay dry. But if you water slowly and steadily, the soil absorbs it and the roots get what they need. Mistake number 3 is drinking ice cold water, especially first thing in the morning or right before meals. I know cold water feels refreshing, but it causes your blood vessels to constrict. When your vessels narrow, insulin has a harder time reaching the cells that need it. Room temperature or slightly warm water keeps your blood vessels relaxed and dilated, allowing insulin to work more efficiently. This is especially important in the morning and around meals when your body is processing glucose. The water method that works. Now let me teach you the method I use with my patients. I call it the H3 method. H for hydration. The first 3 represents 3 key timing points. The second 3 represents 3 essential elements. Let's start with the timing points. Timing point 1, first thing in the morning. This is your most important timing point. The moment you wake up, before coffee, before breakfast, before anything else, drink 1 glass of warm water. About 350 milliliters or 12 Oz. Here's the key addition. Add a tiny pinch of natural sea salt. I mean tiny. Just what fits on the tip of a butter knife, and squeeze in some fresh lemon juice, about half a lemon. Why these additions? After 8 hours of sleep, your body is dehydrated. But it's not just water you've lost electrolytes too. That tiny bit of sea salt provides sodium, potassium, and magnesium that help your cells actually absorb and use the water. The lemon provides vitamin C and creates a slight acidity that helps stabilize your blood sugar response to your first meal. This morning ritual does something remarkable. It signals your adrenal glands to calm down. Those glands produce cortisol, your stress hormone, which naturally peaks in the morning. Cortisol tells your liver to release stored glucose. By calming this response with proper hydration and minerals, you prevent that unnecessary morning blood sugar spike. Let me tell you about Patricia. She was 71, type 2 diabetic for 15 years. Her biggest frustration was her morning blood sugar. She'd wake up at 160 or 170 even though she'd eaten a careful dinner and her bedtime reading was good. We started with just this one change. Warm water with a pinch of sea salt and lemon, first thing every morning, 20 minutes before her coffee. 3 weeks later, her average morning reading dropped to 125. Same medication, same evening routine. The only difference was how she started her day. I wake up feeling different too, she told me. More clear-headed, less foggy, and that lower morning number gives me confidence for the whole day. Timing point 2. Before meals, about 15 minutes before lunch and dinner, drink a small glass of water, about 150 to 200 milliliters, just 1 cup. This does something important. It prepares your digestive system. It stimulates enzyme production. And most importantly for blood sugar, it slightly dilutes your stomach contents, which slows down how quickly carbohydrates are absorbed. When carbohydrates enter your bloodstream, slowly instead of all at once, your insulin can keep up. Your blood sugar rises gently instead of spiking dramatically. Studies have shown this simple habit can reduce after-meal blood sugar spikes by up to 20%. That's the difference between struggling and maintaining good control. Robert was 74 and his biggest challenge was afternoon blood sugar spikes. He'd eat a reasonable lunch, nothing excessive, but 2 hours later his glucose would be 190 or 200. We added this one habit, 1 glass of water, 15 minutes before lunch every day. He set an alarm on his phone to remind him. His post-lunch spikes dropped to 150, 160. Still not perfect, but a significant improvement that his doctor noticed immediately at his next appointment. Timing point 3, during activity. If you walk, garden, or do any physical activity for more than 20 minutes, you need to drink water during that activity, not just after. Aim for about 100 to 120 milliliters every 15 minutes of activity. Small sips frequently. This keeps your blood stable and prevents the blood sugar fluctuations that can happen with exercise. Here's a tip I give my patients over 60. Add a small amount of cinnamon to your water during exercise, about half a teaspoon in a 500 milliliter bottle. Research has shown cinnamon can improve insulin sensitivity, combined with hydration during movement. It's a powerful combination. Now let me explain the 3 essential elements. The second 3 in H3, element 1, temperature matters. Room temperature or slightly warm water is best, especially in the morning and before meals. About 22 to 24 degrees C or around 72 to 75 degree F. Cold water isn't bad, but warm water keeps your blood vessels relaxed, allowing better insulin delivery. It's a small difference that adds up over time. Element 2, minerals matter. Pure water alone isn't enough. Your cells need minerals to actually use that water. That tiny pinch of sea salt in the morning provides those minerals. Natural sea salt contains sodium, potassium, and magnesium in balance. Avoid regular table salt. It's been stripped of these minerals. Choose sea salt or Himalayan pink salt that still contains trace minerals your body needs. Element 3, timing consistency matters. Your body loves routine. Drinking water at the same times every day helps regulate your entire system. Morning water at the same time before meal water at regular intervals. This consistency helps stabilize blood sugar patterns. There's one more addition I make for my patients. Before bed, about an hour before sleep, drink 1 more glass of warm water with 200 molars of magnesium citrate or glycinate dissolved in it. Magnesium is crucial for insulin function. Most people over 60 are deficient. Taking it before bed serves double duty. It helps your muscles relax for better sleep, and it keeps your blood sugar more stable overnight. Helen was 69, and every morning she'd wake up with elevated blood sugar. Even though her numbers were good at bedtime, something was happening overnight. We added magnesium water before bed. Within a week, her morning readings improved. Her sleep deepened. She woke less frequently at night. The magnesium was helping her insulin work better even while she slept. How much water do you actually need? Everyone asks me this question. Doctor, exactly how much water should I drink? Here's a simple formula. Take your body weight in pounds and divide by 2. That number in ounces is your baseline daily water intake. For example, if you weigh 160 pounds, you need about 80 ounces daily. That's about 10 cups. If you exercise or spend time in warm weather, add 1 cup for every 20 minutes of activity or heat exposure. How do you know if you're drinking enough? Look at your urine color. It should be pale yellow like lemonade, not clear, which means you're overhydrated, not dark yellow, which means you're dehydrated. Pale yellow is the sweet spot. Here's a practical strategy. Get a reusable water bottle that holds about 24 ounces. Fill it 3 times a day. Once in the morning, once at midday, once in the afternoon. That's 72 ounces. Perfect for most people. Keep that bottle visible on your counter, on your desk, in your car. Visual reminders work better than trying to remember the 3 enemies. Now let me warn you about 3 things that sabotage this system, even if you're drinking water correctly. Enemy number 1 is coffee on an empty stomach. Coffee triggers your adrenal glands to release cortisol. Cortisol tells your liver to dump glucose into your bloodstream. Your blood sugar spikes before you've eaten anything. The solution is simple. Water first, then coffee. Give your body 20 to 30 minutes to hydrate before your morning coffee. Enemy number 2 is sodas and sweetened drinks, even diet versions. Regular sodas are obviously problematic, but diet sodas create a different issue. They contain phosphoric acid, which competes with magnesium in your body. Magnesium is crucial for insulin function. If you want flavor, add lemon, lime, or a splash of unsweetened cranberry juice to your water. Get the taste without undermining your blood sugar control. Enemy number 3 is distilled or overly purified water. Distilled water has been stripped of all minerals. When you drink it, it actually pulls minerals from your body to balance itself. Over time, this depletes the electrolytes you need for good insulin function. Filtered water is fine. Tap water is fine in most places. Spring water is great. Just avoid water that's been completely demineralized. What to expect? So what happens when you start this method? What should you expect? In the first week, you might feel like you're running to the bathroom constantly. This is normal. Your body is adjusting to proper hydration. This settles down by week 2. You should notice your morning blood sugar starting to stabilize, maybe 10 to 15 points lower on average. Not a dramatic drop, but consistent improvement. By weeks 2 to 3, you should notice more stable energy throughout the day, less of that afternoon crash. Your after-meal blood sugar readings should become more predictable by week 4. If you check your A1C, you might see it starting to trend downward. Not a huge drop, but movement in the right direction. And here's what I hear most often. Doctor, I just feel better. I can't quite explain it, but I feel more like myself. That's proper hydration. It doesn't cure diabetes. It doesn't replace medication, but it helps your body work the way it's supposed to. Important cautions. Let me be very clear about something. This is not a replacement for medical care. If you're taking diabetes medication, do not stop. If your doctor has you on a specific plan, stay on it. What this method does is support your medication, making it work more efficiently. I've had patients who after 3 months were able to reduce medication under their doctor's supervision. Not because water replaced medicine, but because their body started working better. If you have kidney disease, talk to your doctor before increasing water intake. For most people, this is safe and beneficial, but if your kidneys aren't filtering properly, you need individualized guidance. If you're on blood pressure medication, pay attention as you increase hydration. Proper hydration can lower blood pressure naturally, which is good, but might require medication adjustments. Watch for dizziness and report it to your doctor. Your 14-day challenge. Before I close, let me tell you about Margaret, who was 73 when we met. Margaret had been diabetic for 18 years. Multiple medications, various diets, diabetes education classes. She knew carb counting better than most nutritionists, but her A1C had been creeping up. It was now 8.4, and her doctor was talking about insulin. I feel like I've failed, she told me quietly. I've done everything right for 18 years, but my body keeps getting worse. Maybe this is just what happens. Her hydration was terrible. Maybe 3 or 4 glasses of water daily, coffee in the morning, tea in the afternoon, but actual water, very little. I never feel thirsty, she explained, and I hate using the bathroom constantly. We started the H3 method. Yes, for the first week, she'd use the bathroom more, but her body would adjust. 6 weeks later, she looked younger, eyes brighter, skin better, smiling. My numbers have been the best in 5 years, she said, showing me her log. My average used to be 180 to 200. Now I'm 140 to 160. My doctor reduced my medication. But it wasn't just numbers. I have energy again, real energy. I can think clearly. I started gardening again, something I'd given up. 3 months later, A1C came back at 7.2, down from 8.4. You gave me my life back, she said through happy tears, with water, something that cost nothing. I wish someone had told me this 18 years ago. Margaret's story is why I make these videos, because there are thousands of people like her out there trying so hard, feeling defeated, when sometimes the answer is simpler than anyone imagines. I want to challenge you to try this for 14 days, 2 weeks. Follow the H3 method exactly. Morning water with sea salt and lemon first thing. Water before lunch and dinner. Proper daily intake spread throughout the day. Magnesium water before bed. Track your blood sugar during those 2 weeks. See for yourself if the numbers improve. Pay attention to how you feel. More energy, clearer thinking, better sleep. If after 2 weeks you see improvement, keep going. Make this your new normal. And leave a comment telling me what you noticed. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to give this a try. If this information was helpful, share it with someone struggling with their blood sugar, a parent, a friend, someone who could use a simple strategy that works. And if you're not subscribed, hit that button and turn on notifications. I make these videos because I believe understanding your health is the first step to improving it. Small changes done consistently create real results. I'm Dr. Jonathan Clark. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next